Alright, let's get started. I've changed my microphone positioning, so hopefully my voice will come over better this time than it did earlier today when I was streaming. So, alright. Oops. I've got to put that back over on the stream monitor. So I got billboarding working. Okay, I'd like to find out why lit doesn't work. Yeah, let's oops, wrong one. All right. Okay. So here's lit, and this is unlit. All right. So pretty simple. I think what I need to do is to have a threshold that I use if the diffuse is less than, because what I think is happening is it's including all this other stuff. Maybe that's what it, geez. Hopefully that'll do it. Let's see. This is lit. Maybe that's all I needed. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, that was all I needed. But it's not like receiving any light. I believe the light is coming from light is coming from up here, so there should be some light on that. I have a feeling that has something to do with the normals. Let's see. NML. Does that change anything? Yeah. Why is that failing? Oh. Ah. I think this will actually just work. There we go. Now when it faces away from the light, yes. Alright, now it's being lit. That's pretty sweet. Now it's not being lit. Now it's being lit. So it was the normals. Okay, good. Alright. Now I want to, I've got lighting working, I want to get an animated sprite in there so it's not just a boring billboard. But first, let me add this in here too. Blurred.a. Let me try that. I want to see what it looks like when it's lit. Oh, just a minute. Alright, I'm back. My wife came into the room. Okay. So what did I want to do? Where was I? Oh, I know what I was doing. I wanted to see what happened with a lit shader with shadows. Oh, there it is. lit shadow. Okay. Okay, so we're lit and we have shadow. That's pretty nice. Billboards are in the shadow. They don't cast a shadow yet. But they are there. It's really hard to see where this would cast a shadow since it's a billboard. But I think I'm going to, you know what, let's get shadow working before I get animated sprites working. Shadow directional is what I need to edit. Okay. All right. I believe, let me double check. I always get these mixed up. I believe the further, yeah, my shadow code still needs some work. I believe the further away something is, the lighter it shows up. So this is here, so that would be closer. I don't know. How do I want to do this? Cast shadows. So let's add this here. Now, this is probably facing, let's do neg x. All right. So that did not do anything. I'm not seeing any shadow at all. That's because I don't have sprite support in there yet. I need to add sprite support. I really should make this a function so I don't have to have it twice. Internal draw sprite. All right. I'm going to need this. I'm going to need all of this. And then call scene draw sprite. Okay. Is that all I need to do? No, there's an error there. Oh, okay, so I need to add the camera. Okay, let's see. What else am I missing? Return. I don't need to. Oh, void. Oops. Alright, and now what I need to do in the lighting rendering, just do this. And it did not work. Why didn't it work? Oh, because I'm not passing the camera in. Well, I need the camera. So let's pass the camera in. Child camera. Pass the camera there. It's gotta be the camera, not the light matrix. Alright, let's see if that compiles. It did, but it didn't seem to do anything. No? What am I forgetting? I'm forgetting something. What am I forgetting? I think I need... Well, yeah, because it doesn't take any textures. That's going to require some shader changes, or switches. I can close that. Not sure what's going on. Okay. All right. Should still be drawing something though. That is strange. Did build successfully, but it's not drawing anything to the texture. Should be a square. Let me try it with no face culling. Let's see if that makes any difference. No, it's not making any difference with the shadows. So let's turn that back off for now. So when this is working, there will be a shadow back there. Is it drawing? It's not even getting here. Okay. Oh, I think I know why. type does not equal. There we go. All right, so now we are getting a shadow, but it's not taking into account the translucent pixels. So we need to make some changes. Unfortunately, it's not going to be simple to change because this whole system is set up to just do geometry. And it's probably going to be a performance hit to discard pixels. All right. How do I want to do this? Maybe let's add directional textured. We will add another one of these. Textured, or we will need to take structure textures. Is that what that is? Don't remember. Texture 2D, okay. Oops. So let's just do this. Vec for color equals. I'm going to need vec 2 UV 1. All right. Vec 2 UV. I don't think I need to do anything special there. All right, so output.uv equals uv. If color dot a is less than 0.1, then we discard. Let's replace, oops, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. All right, so now default textured. All right. So what we need to do is we need to send a pass. If pass equals 0 and type mesh or pass 1 and model sprite. And we will need to skip them. Okay. So we need to do this twice. 2 passes. And I'm going to actually I'll type it out for once. Okay. So we get the shader, pass it to 0. I think I need to keep track of whether or not I have one of those. If pass equals 1, let's get the diffuse. Shader set variable map text. What's the definition of this one? No. Hello, where are you? There it is. Oh, that's right. That's just what I need. Okay. Is there anything I need to do to clean up afterwards? Does not appear. Does not appear so. All right. Let's see if that compiles. It's textured. Model. Oh, that's right. Oh, what am I doing? Oh. What am I missing? All right, what I should do is need multi-pass. And this is how I will determine this needs to move down below the for loop, after the for loop. If not, needs multipass break. All right. Oh, not needed there. Oh, what happened? Oh, it didn't. Oh, I put a semicolon where I didn't need one. Right there. Now hopefully that'll compile. Nope. Oh. UV. Oh. Of course. Put .uv. Okay. No, now it's not doing anything. Let's see what's going. Oh, I know why. Else needs multipass equals true. Okay, so it is now not working. Why aren't you working? It is using the correct okay. I put it in the right location. Yeah. It's just not working. Let's see if it's actually getting here now. Yes, it is getting there. All right. So we, what shader is that? Okay. Okay, so it does have that. Diffuse text, which is what I called it. Diffuse text. Oh boy. Oh, excuse me. Shader set variable. So it's setting that diffuse text, which which is what is called. That is 0. It should be working. Material prepare. I don't see a reason for it not to be. Excuse me. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Let me find it here. I know I'm using discard elsewhere. Shader, lit shadow. There we go. Discard. Yeah. Is there any way it's not? Pass equals 0. No, okay. So that's definitely not it. Let's just make sure. Oops. Okay, so first time around it's shader 5. Second time around it's shader 6. What am I missing? It's always positioned in UV. The only thing I can think of is that UV is not. But that's the way it is there. UV. Input.uv equals input.uv. What is going on? No, that shouldn't make any difference. Else. Maybe I need to put that in an else? I don't think so. Discard is supposed to okay, come on. Let's get this shadow working right. It's still not discarding the art. Huh. What is going on? This does not make a whole lot of sense. Okay, come on. Alright, we get the color of the texture, which appears to be being set properly. the alpha is less than 0.1, which there's definitely areas where the alpha is 0. It should be discarding that, but it's not. Why isn't it? It's got to be because the texture's not coming in properly, but that doesn't seem like it would be the case. Oh. I think I need to do that. See, I'm applying the shader variables there. Setting the model matrices, that's good. So let's try doing this, which will hopefully fix the problem. Yes! Awesome. Now I have that looks really weird because of the backface culling. But now I have shading that's specific to the billboard, or the translucent areas of the sprite. That is awesome. Alright, now that we've got shadows working, let's go ahead and get animated sprites working. Alright, ZT model. Okay, so now I need struct sprite animation, anim controller, sprite anim controller, and we'll also include that. Okay. Let's go here. So now I need to add another parameter here. Sprite anim controller. Model type equals sprite anim animation model sprite anim equals that sprite anim facing equals sprite facing. So now I need to add another null pointer in here and a null pointer in here. A null pointer right here. Okay, that should work. Oh boy. Okay, what is the problem? Is that's probably defined after this. Yes, it is. So, what we will do is we'll just add this up here. What did I call it? definitely should be that. Okay. Sprite. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make this dynamic depending on the sprite, because you can have sprites from different textures. So we're gonna have to account for that. Yeah, let's just rename that one instead. Okay. Now let's count for I need to how do I want to do this? Let's get it working in rendering first. Sprite anim type. Sprite anim controller. Is it active sprite? Otherwise, null pointer. I don't know why I have that like that. Okay. Now, what we need to do is materials. Before we set the materials, we need to, if sprite animation, then we need to model.material.diffuse text equals sprite anim text. And that should be what I need to do there. And draw sprite, which is going to be fine. Although I should not count on that. If it says ET, model sprite facing enum facing equals. If it is a model type sprite, then we do sprite facing. Otherwise, we do model sprite anim facing. And then we use that. Okay, where's the get triangles? Sprite equals sprite and model sprite, otherwise ET sprite and controller active sprite. going to compile. Let's make sure we haven't broke anything. Alright, that looks like it's still working. Now I've already got my animation. Let's make sure that's looking alright. So that's the animation that it'll play as soon as I get that loaded. Oops. So I need to make a sprite and a manager. That's what I need. Got a sprite manager, now I need a sprite and a manager. Okay, so I do that. Let's make max sequences. I only need one. Let's load. Asset manager. Let's get the asset load. Textures.magicOrb.sba for sprite animation. I need a sprite. I think I need to send a sprite anim. No. Okay, why? I think I do, yeah, there. Okay. We're just going to assume that's succeeding. Let's load. Oh yeah, I need a sprite and controller. That needs to not be a pointer, I believe. Okay, so now let's load this up. Oops. How did I miss that? Sprite manager. I believe I called that orb. Okay, so now we're going to change this. And this is going to take that. Is that going to work? It's not updating anything yet. Oh, I know why. I need to ZT sprite and manager. Start our sprite and controller. Start sequence. What? Oh. ZT string hash. I've got to respond to my wife's text. See if that works. Does not work. Okay, I've got to do something real quick, so I will be back in like 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. All right, I'm back. Okay, so let's find out why this isn't working. Okay. So, here's sprite animation. Okay, so it found the orb. Sequence count. Alright, I'm confused. Where did that crash? Okay. Am I supposed to be making this first? Okay. I know I'm not being very entertaining right now, I'm sorry. Orb is... I think I need to make it before I use it to load. That's why. Okay, so this did need to be that. And this needs to be max sequence could be 1. Okay, I need to change that so that doesn't have to be dynamically allocated. Actually, I think because it... There we go. crashing. Okay, if controller is... Ooh, that's not good. Did I not set it? I must not have. Model make. Sprite. Oh. Well, that was dumb. Maybe that's why. So I'm definitely setting it. Alright, we didn't crash. But we're also not getting a sprite. Alright, let's find out why we're not getting a sprite. Oops. Okay, texture's 13. Okay. Let's get the sprite. Okay, it's pretty big. Oh. Well, that's why. Sprite animation. Yeah, it would help if I actually count for that type. Oh, geez. Okay. Oh. Don't want that parenthesis. Or brace. Alright, well, it's not updating because I'm not actually updating it. Let's update it in here. Alright, we have date time there. Or delta time. Sprite and controller update. And sprite and controller 1 delta time. There we go. It's not yet doing the lighting yet. Well, that should be just a matter of doing the same thing here. Animation. No. I think I need to, yeah. I need to do or. There we go. We have animated sprites in our 3D scene that can receive shadows, can cast shadows. Doesn't draw the back face because I have back face calling on. But yeah, I see that's a success. That's what I wanted to get done today. Oh, goodness. All right. So that's cool. And because it's, let me make sure everything is working as it should. Let's move it a little bit. Where is the rotation? Oh, wrong file. Let's position equals 3 -2 2 2. Let's move it there. Alright, let's move it a little bit further that way and a little higher. there's that. Now let's see what happens if we rotate. I think I'm rotating on the, wait, no. That should definitely be doing something. Rotation does not seem to be working. Oh, that's because I'm resetting it every time. Alright, now. Well, that's interesting. I think that's an artifact of the sprite sheet. Okay, so it spins that way, which is good. Let's restart it. Let's spin it this way. Shadow is working appropriately for something that's called. Okay. I am happy with that. I can't really judge performance on stream, so I'll have to tell if the changes I've made have had a negative impact negative performance impact later. But it seems to be doing pretty well. Light is bouncing off of it properly. Okay. Let's go ahead and turn off the rotation. I'm really happy with the shadow that, based on the sprite image and not the quad. Alright, what do I want to, I guess I could do vertex array. That should be pretty simple. Except I have to build a vertex array. Yeah, that's kind of a nuisance. I should get some particles in here first. Wish I would have picked a better animation. That's not very smooth. But it works. Oh. Let me add this as a sprite so I can use it for. Let's do no, I don't think I can do this on this one. Never mind. You know what, we'll just use one of these as a particle. Alright. Particle editor. Let's go ahead and full screen this so it'll fit. Okay. Let's change the sprite to this one. Okay, let's change our start scale to 0.1. Let's go ahead and give us a gradient so it fades out nice and softly. Let's do a gradual slowdown. We'll make it faster. Speed over lifetime is going to be a curve that actually slows down over lifetime. And we will do size over lifetime as well. We'll make that a curve, and we'll just do something fancy here. Let's make the speed a little bit. Start scale. Make it a little bit bigger. That's probably too big. Start speed, I will just make it a little bubbly. Let's actually get some random in there between 1 and 2. Okay, 1 and 1.25. And we can make it last a little bit shorter time. We can add a whole bunch more. It's kind of interesting looking. Let's make it a little bit, let's do a random. 0.1 and 0.2. Let's give it a start rotation. I need to fix that bug. Between 0 and 360. Now they won't all look the same. Alright, file, save particle system. That loops, yeah, okay. Add particle orbs. Okay. So, oh, that's a spam caller. I do not need to answer that. Go away. Okay. I should check on that message. All right. Okay, back to this. Do I want to change the blending mode? And that looks messy. We'll just leave it at that. Oh, I like my particle system. Alright, so now I have it there. Now I need to figure out how to get it into here. I'll make, oops, I was right there. This needs to be part of the union. Particle emitter. I'm going to need to forward declare this as well. Okay. Particle emitter. That should be all I need. Okay. Particle emitter. So how is everybody today? There's looks like a few people in here with me. If you don't want to talk, that's fine. Don't feel like you have to. I need to add particle system to this. Give myself a little more room. Particle emitter. SFs for particle emitter. Not equal null pointer. We've got ourselves a model type particle system, particle emitter. Okay, there we go. I think we could do emitter. Oops. System, I believe I'm going to need that. Emitter system. Where's the sprite? System rendering. Well, we'll just do this for now. Dot type equal. Come on. What is that? Particle rendering type. Come on. Facing that sprite. Okay. I am using OpenGL. Yes, my library or my engine, whatever you want to call it, uses OpenGL. It also has support for DirectX, but the DirectX support is currently broken. I've added a lot of functionality without keeping the DirectX portion current with what I have for OpenGL, so right now it's not currently functional. But it's in there. I was talking about this earlier on my stream this morning when I was on that I'll probably only add DirectX support back if I decide to add Xbox platform support, because OpenGL support on Windows is pretty good, and there's really no compelling reason I can see to keep both rendering backends up to date if I'm just able to use OpenGL. All right, I've kind of lost my train of thought. All right, so we've got that. I set it. Okay, if we need to do this. If our particles cast shadows, we need to do them in here. Oops. Or equals. Okay. This one is going to be a little trickier, I think. May need to edit the particle system to be able to get those. Otherwise, I'll have to dynamically allocate what you want to do. Yeah, it's like 40,000 lines for a ZT game. It's not really a problem, although I probably will split it up into various subsystem header files, and then just include them all in the ZT game header. But I haven't gotten that far. Yeah, if you look, 42,000. But I embed Sean Barrett's TrueType library and the image loading library. So that's a good chunk of this. I mean, like 10,000. Yeah, looks like about 10,000 lines. So I really just wanted everything in one single file, but it is getting a bit ridiculous. But as long as I'm still able to traverse it relatively easily, it's probably not going to be split up until it starts being a problem for me. All right, so for particle system, like I usually have a couple copies of it open. Like I have a copy here and a copy here, and I can search, just use the find to find what I'm looking for and get to it really quickly. Actually, it's easier to do that than it would be to open different files. I've been working on the library for about a year and a half now. Before that, I had been working on a couple games, and I basically took the code that was in those games and turned it into this single file or header file only library that I've been working on, so that I could use it for multiple projects. Because what I was finding was when I had all the code in the game, it was hard for me to start a new project. A lot of times I'd want to start a new small little project to test something, to do a rendering test or something. And it was just really difficult to, copy the project, remove the game specific files, and all that. So I decided to pause work on the games, turn it into a library that I could easily share among projects, and then get back to the game development. So started that about a year and a half ago, last summer. So I've been working on that. It's got a lot of great tools. Let's see if it'll compile. No, it won't. Oh yeah, that needs to be a pointer. Let me get this to a compiling again. I'll show you some of the tools I have in my library. Okay, I need to. This is null. This will be sprite sprite facing max emitter. And this has all been part-time work. I have a full-time job. I work from home, so I'm able to sort of work on this in between day job responsibilities. Okay. Peak. Okay, what is the problem? Oh, sprite.text. Alright, so here we're compiling. I don't know how long you've been watching the stream, but I'm working on adding 3D support, adding more functionality to my 3D support. I've been getting sprite support in not just models, but sprites and animated sprites, and getting them to work with shadows and receiving shadows, casting shadows, and all that, and reacting to light. But yeah, I've got your typical console. You have commands. I don't have a whole bunch. I don't really use this very often, but it's handy sometimes. We've got a whole GUI system that's written from scratch. This is my GUI hierarchy, so I can debug GUI problems. So I can see all the information about the GUI. I've got a texture viewer. I can take a look at any texture that's currently loaded. My shadow map. So I've got a sprite editor, or got a profiler, which lets me profile the various aspects of the game. I can see, which function is taking the longest time in isolation. So the function that renders the profiler takes the most time. The function that flips the back buffer takes second most amount of time, and then so forth. All of this primarily just rendering the profiler. The profiler takes a lot of rendering resources. It's quite extensive and a lot of information here, but it helps a lot when you have a performance issue. I do my own memory management, so I can see how much memory, how my memory is laid out. I can see, and in a lot of the cases I can see, if you look at the bottom of the screen there, it tells me exactly what line and what file that memory was allocated on, how much it is. I don't currently have a way to look into the memory. I haven't really found a need for that, but this is nice to determine how fragmented my memory gets. I can see that right here I have a 2.21 megabyte empty space. Just it's handy to be able to check this stuff. I've got a sprite editor, so I can edit sprites. And with the GUI, I've got 9 slice sprites so that the GUI can be rendered at any size, and it uses the correct images. I've got a sprite animation editor, which lets me edit sprite animations. So the tools aren't really all that polished, but they're functional. And I've got my particle editor, which I worked on for like a month straight, and I just love this thing. So it lets me, it's pretty close in functionality wise to Unity's new particle editor, which is what I modeled my design on. I know Unity's particle editor is pretty powerful, so I wanted to do something similar with mine. And then I've got a curve editor here that lets me create different curves that can be used for animating values and so forth. It's pretty neat. Am I doing this for fun? Yeah, right now this is just for fun. I have a full-time job doing software development for a business sector application. I co-own a company, and this is early in the morning. When I get time between responsibilities of my day job, I'll do this, and so it's like part-time or so. I work from like 6 in the morning till 6 in the afternoon or 6 in the evening. So I dedicate 3 or 4 hours a day specifically to this, and the rest of the day is work responsibilities. If I have a slow day, I'll do more than 4 hours on this. But I have recently completed my first commercial game that I have a link to below. If you want to check that out, it was primarily a test of my new game library. I wanted to find out if it was suitable for an actual, finished, polished commercial game. And as far as 2D goes, it works great. It's got a lot of really nice functionality for 2D games. But I found out this past weekend when I participated in the Ludum Dare competition that the 3D functionality of my library is not up to par. After Saturday, on Sunday morning, I decided that I wanted to redo it in 3D, and I thought my library was up to the task, but I ran into a lot of bugs and problems. I couldn't overcome, and I ended up not finishing the game for the competition. So that sort of spurred me into making it a little easier and faster to get 3D stuff working for prototyping and for game jams and stuff. Like with my game, Super Mighty Ultra Ball, that I linked to below, the vast majority of that development was done using the easy to get running stuff. And I designed it in a way that would be relatively easy to optimize when I got to that point. And it was. I was able to like triple my, or cut the rendering time into a third by using these optimizations that really difficult to do while I was, actively changing the game. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. Instead of having the 3D stuff required to be done the hard way, I'm adding easier methods to get things working just so I could rapidly prototype, try new features really quickly. And then once the the gameplay is solidified, then I can start optimizing and working on that. So yeah, I've done a lot of work on this, and it's public domain. I mean, feel free to follow the link below and do whatever you want with it. I just don't really support it, so if you have any trouble with it, you're kind of on your own. I'm really just making it so that I can use it, but other people are welcome to try if they want. But yeah. Alright, so I've got particle system. I need to let's make a particle system. Particle emitter pool. Particle orb. Alright. I do have sound support, music. It's basic audio support. I don't have any 3D locational audio. I don't have a whole lot of audio effects support and things like that. It's just basic. It'll play a wave file. It'll loop a wave file. You can adjust volume. You can adjust frequency. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I've got basic audio support. So you can make a complete game with this library, and I did. But it doesn't have a lot of the the AAA features you'd expect from a fully functional game engine. I'm pretty much adding things as I need them. I've not done a real. I did a semi. I mean, it was 3D for 2 Ludum Dares ago. I believe it was the April one. I think I did a first-person shooter where the the camera was locked on the x-axis. You couldn't look up or down. It was sort of a Doom-inspired game, but it was bare bones 3D. At that point, that was 8 months ago. I didn't have much 3D support in the engine. Even less than I had before this past Ludum Dare, but I was able to get it to work because it was a very simple game. The game I wanted to do for Ludum Dare this time, I'll show you here. I wanted to do a roguelike game where the more gold you picked up, the harder it was to see. So you can hear the audio, but it was an ambitious project to begin with, and when I decided to switch to 3D, all the shortcomings in my library came to light, and I got discouraged and decided to call it quits about 2 hours before the compo ended. You can drop your gold if you want to improve your view. But I've discovered I'm much better at doing 3D art than I am 2D art, so I wanted to get rid of the 2D art, which looked pretty bad. Got traps. The one thing I wasn't able to get working was the shop, which is kind of fundamental to the whole idea of this game. You would go through the dungeon, and the more higher level you get, the harder the enemies are. So therefore, you need to collect the gold to go to the shop to buy better armor, to buy better weapons. But I just never got that far. I only implemented one weapon, and the shop never worked. He dodged that bomb. He's pretty smart. But yeah, particles were another thing that wasn't working. I had recently just fixed that in this demo. Before, the particles looked really bad, and here's a bug. After a certain number of bombs, they just stopped showing up. But yeah, so it doesn't currently work on Android, but I'm actually going to be adding Android support in the next couple weeks. I had written Android support for one of my games that I had started working on before I decided to make the library. So I have a lot of the code already written. I just need to port it to this. I recently added WebGL support through Emscripten, which was really, really simple and easy to do. So I know I've designed it to a point where it's relatively easy to add new platform support. And since Android uses OpenGL, I don't have to worry about a new renderer. I have kids, and two of my kids, my little girl is 6 and my little boy is 4. We bought them the kid versions of the Kindle Fire, and my gift to them is going to be games. I wrote my son a game, which I'll show you here real quick. I think he's going to get a kick out of it. All right, I gotta find it here. Let's open project Zach's game. But he is a big Transformers fan, so keep that in mind. Oh, it's on the wrong window. And basically, you just click and punch him until he either knock him out or he knocks you out. And that's the whole game. But he's 4 and he's going to love it. But yeah, I need to port the game to Android in order for him to be able to play it on his device. So I do plan on adding Android support. It's just not in there yet. I'll probably work on that next week. Let's see. I've kind of lost my train of thought. Oh, I was adding a particle. All right, particle emitter full load. Init. I don't know why I called it init. Oh yeah. Particle system load. Particle system. And sprite manager. Asset manager. Textures. Particle. Orb. Oh. Need to pass you. Let's make 2. System seed. That's not a valid number. All right, got that. Let me get particle emitter. Particle emitter pool get available. Model equals that's not right. Make emitter shader get default. Let's go ahead and shadow pointer. Model, no. Okay. And let's do that. Let's do this twice. First one we will do model transform.position. If it's 0, then we'll put it at 2, 1. Otherwise, we'll do 2, 1, 2. Okay, now I need to update the particle systems. Just to make sure my position and everything's right, let's go ahead and okay. I just got an email that you're following. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's supposed to be giving me an update on my display here, but it doesn't seem to be working. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks. All right. So let's particle emitter full render. NGS particle. Oh, there it is. I guess the email came through before the notification. Draw list. Camera 3D, okay. Now this should probably happen here. All right. Uh-oh. Oh, why is that not working? Well, that's not good. It must not have. Let me find my browser, my file explorer. Okay. I'll bring this over here. Textures. What did I name it? Particle orbs.ptl. That's why. Misspelled it. Okay. It's still crashing. Where is it crashing? Emitter is still null. Okay. Let's find out why. All right, the system loaded. Loops, true. System rendering. Okay, so it loaded properly, it looks like. But this is returning null. Why is that returning null? Oh, okay. Because I did not restart them. Particle emitter reset all. Now it should give me an emitter. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, I've got to, what did I have to do? I think I had to turn off depth writing. Render depth, enable depth writing, false. Oh yeah, another feature of my library is it supports hot reloading. I can make a change to the code, go into the app, and rebuild it. All right, so I think I need to, which shader is it using? Default unlit, which should be fine. Let me try, go down here. I don't want to spend too much time trying to get this working. Nope, something broke. Yes, it just does not work at all with lit. It's all billboarded, so I won't be able to tell the difference anyway. Huh. Yeah, that's a problem with sprites. The transparency on that is writing to the depth buffer. They shouldn't, because I'm discarding them. Or am I? I don't think I am. That's probably the problem. Let's see. Where's my browser? There it is. Okay. This is the lit. I have a custom shader language that turns my language into OpenGL shader language and DirectX shader language. So I only have to write the shader once, and my library would convert it appropriately as needed. Alright. If color.a is less than 0.1, discard. Okay, so that is that one. Let's just test this one. So I should not be doing that. I should be oh, okay. Why am I doing that? That I don't think should be there. That was a performance problem. Color, I use less than 0.1. I'll also discard. Okay. All right. That requires me to shut down and recompile. Now you can see where it's the depth sorting isn't working. That's something else I need to add support for in the render. The scene render is support for transparent and translucent objects. That should not be happening. But that's okay. Let's see. Alright, I've been streaming for almost 2 hours again. It's like 4 hours today. I think I'm going to call it quits here. And I made pretty good progress. I'll get the particle system working later. Maybe I'll stream, probably not over the weekend, but maybe Monday or maybe early tomorrow morning if I get up before everyone else wakes up. But that's it for now. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for chatting. I appreciate it. And have a good weekend. If I don't stream tomorrow, if I don't see you tomorrow, or if you don't see me tomorrow, enjoy your weekend. And I will be back later. Thanks for watching.